pode vir, vem cá pra selva. De Glock, vem foder na selva. E a XR tá no porte, apertando o balão pra subir a tua perna. Tropa do urso é foda, onde chega Deus e selva. E as piranhas tão jogando com os puxadores. R são top, então escolhe. Quem você quer que te fode. Você quer tropa do urso, do abelha que solta fogo, então escolhe. Quem você quer que na selva. Você quer um lobo mau, de mulher que solta forte, então escolhe. Quem você quer que na selva. Você quer um mais história do universo. Quem você quer que na selva. Você quer um R ou danado que solta fogo.
Safadinha, me solta machuca. Pode minha bonequinha.
Fuder na selva.
Fudendo essa novinha.
Então escolhe. Quem você quer que te fode. Você quer um lobo mau.
So man, I had to look up something. So yeah, I didn't make a video in like, I don't know. So this gonna probably be like a long couple of videos because I wanted to get all the stuff out, clear my mind up, whatever. So I think it was 11 days ago. We didn't, like I said, I'm separating this stuff. So a lot of stuff going on. So, first and foremost, this Michael B. Jordan shit, corny stuff. I really don't care. I care less about what a celebrity is doing and what a bunch of people doing at all. I care about my own revenge, or so-called my own get back. And I saw a whole bunch of people, like I showed you back in I think last year, chick who made fun of me is now a pillhead, walking around in the summertime with winter coats on. I saw a few chicks who ran through. They're fat and overweight now with a kid. They're single moms. They got with the drug dealer. I think 2-3 months ago, I saw a chick that used to talk shit about me in the middle of the street with absolutely looking like she was just on drugs. So there's a dude that was in my old neighborhood who stayed at my old house, and he was homeless, sleeping on it. There's a guy that was asking for change at the supermarket I went to after he told shit about me. There's the guy who told me that I needed some yams, which was, AKA pussy. And he ended up shooting a girl, getting mad at her, shooting her with I forgot, a high power gun, and basically crippling her, and end up being on probation. He lucky he got that. And his friendship diluted with the dude that I know in the neighborhood. And the dude in the neighborhood, what you call it? The dude in the neighborhood was an accessory to him. He the one that drew the car. But the guy in the neighborhood knew a cop. And the cop went all the way up to the chain because she was a well-respected police officer, and got him out and got him on probation. But the other dudes, they got on probation too. But he was told to never hang out with them ever again. 9 times out of 10, I had my Michael B. Jordan moment multiple times. There's tons of people who talked about me. They ain't doing so good no more. I already got my moment. I really don't care. It feels good to have your moment. I saw a chick who talked about me years ago, and she's a crackhead. Saw her sleeping on the floor. It's the Michael B. Jordan thing. If you haven't experienced getting your revenge or living your life, and you see people doing worse than you who talked about you back in the past and try to act like they cool with you, then you must not have lived life, or you might not have gone everywhere. I went all over the city, and it'd be crazy It's crazy who you run into when you just doing errands. Even when I came from a checkup, I saw a dude who stole shit from me when I was in math class from high school. Dude was shook as shit because he thought I was gonna walk to him, and I balled my fist up, act like I was gonna run up on him. And he stood there, and he backed up, and then I did like this, and he didn't know that I had he didn't know I had headphones in my ear. Well, one in my ear, and I was doing like this, and then I did like this and act like I was jamming to my music with my fist like that. And he was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know." Like, look, man, if you have that moment and you call motherfuckers out, it's a fun thing. So, his whole video is about it's important to pay attention to longevity. And it's important to have longevity, and it's important to have a long reign of your life, and don't let anybody get in the way of that. So let's get everybody. Let's get it. So back in 2021, I think some of my other viewers know this. This is my former friend that I knew for almost 11 years. Our friendship dissolved in 2011. But he pretended that we was friends even though we didn't talk ever since 2011. I was on Facebook, and he would talk to me when he get bored. So it all blew up in 2016. When his little brother got drunk and decided to spill off at the mouth and tell him that I talked about him, which I wasn't going to deny. But what his little brother didn't talk about was I talked about him to his family. I never really talked about him to anybody outside of there, right? Mind you, me and him wasn't friends for ever since 2011. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, we didn't talk in like 4 years. And the next minute I know, I get a message of him when I was on Facebook. You're talking about me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know you talked about me before. I had hackers. At the time, I had hackers. And one of the first things I did was go and look in everybody's who talked to me, everybody's information, who was talking about me. Everybody who was close, I checked them out to see if they was, still on my side. I was surprised that he was talking about me. His brother was talking about me. Of course, his sister, because his sister is my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, I'm not an incel after all, assholes. For the new guys, for the old people, they probably think they heard this story already. Also, I have a whole bunch of screenshots that I had back in 2020 that I showed. That show that I'm not even remotely close to no incel shit. And literally, I have old phone numbers in my phone right now that I can't really post, that only probably one of them work, and it's still the girl's number, but she probably don't remember that she gave me that number. But at the time, she thought she could play me. I think she's a single mom. So back in 2021, I forgot what happened. And it was something happening. And I think I looked on his page and I accidentally liked one of his pictures or some shit. You know how you go on Instagram and you go under the thing and you see the people that somebody likes? Because basically I kind of check up on certain people. And plus I was bored. 2021... Was like just after COVID. So this is what I said. Wait, you said I backstabbed you. What year? And what did I say? My head hurt. So I basically try to play it off. But I'm trying to go back to when we stopped being cool and all. This came about so we can come to an understanding. Is that cool? When you talked about me to Eric, are you asking me? Okay. Yeah, I tried to tell you back then when I was on the phone, when I was talking to you on the phone, on the phone with you back on 2016 about what I said, and I think I asked you what you said about me when Tiffany was saying things that only you knew, saying I never had sex, I never saw a woman naked, and I never had a job in my life. I remember. So basically, this dude think the only way you can work is if you work for an official job. And he never knew that I was trying to appease him by me saying that I never had sex because me and him was cool. But then his sister kind of almost forgot that when me and her was dating, she was ready to drop her panties, and that was back when we was teenagers. Lucky I never did it. It's the same shit that happened, and then I didn't say in this screenshot, but I'm like, you remember the tomboy who was rushing up on me to try to have sex with me? That she was already fucking a whole bunch of dudes in the neighborhood, and she just wanted me. She pushed me in a room. They had a party at my house, and imagine she showed them in my damn room, trying to make me have sex with her. And I'm glad I never had sex with her when I was a teenager because, well, that same tomboy is now a lesbian, and she got like 5-6 kids. I can go back on the I can go back right now. Literally, I can go on my Instagram, go on there, and basically show you what she looks like. But that'll give her information out, and I'm not doing that because somebody might try to go back. So Eric was someone I had. I tried to. Basically, yes. Eric was someone I tried to help. I told you I saved his life when he was trying to end his life after that bad shit. Pretty much, it was a death in the family. Someone close. I'm not gonna say who because it's not mine. It's not. It's basically you can elaborate. His little brother tried to end it off with some pills, powerful pills. I think maybe it was some other pills, but I took the pills out of his hand. It was the same day, the person, his close one, died, and he wanted to end it all. And I saved his life. And what he did was talk about me and pretty much thought he can use me. He can use me whenever he wanted to use me. Right? Basically calling me when he needed help. And I seen his true characters, and I knew that me and him wasn't going to be cool for a long time. He was pretty much a distraction or kind of a, calm down, to the fact that he wasn't. And he brought all this drama, and he wasn't a tactful person, right? So I pretty much helped him, right? So I did my job as a friend and tried to help Andrew back in 2010 to 2012. He turned on me when he got with Amber. I forgot what I did to him. Also, let the women let women what was it? Also let women he would talk shit about me. When he saw me in 2020, he didn't say a word to me. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I'll talk shit. It was venting to Eric about his brother who didn't have no friends, where it could have been went to someone else. But y'all told Tiffany, someone who told what y'all said about me and told Facebook, I will own up to talking my shit because Eric was telling everyone. Y'all was saying Eric was telling everyone what y'all said about me. That's all. Okay. Like I said before, 9 times out of 10, I'm doing something else, like right now. So, what he said this back was this. Okay, I never said anything about you. Anything, I always stuck up for you, was my mentor. So, he would never admit that he talked about me. He had never admitted. It was just like a dude that I know that I was somewhat cool with, but I didn't really trust like that, who was talking shit about me to his little girlfriend that he was getting pussy from. She exposed him for talking about me, saying he only talks about me. He only talks to me in order to try to engage with me and experiment. And then I went to the guy and told him, I said, yeah, your girl. He was like, why you standing off to me? And so I was like, yo, I can't talk to you because your girl said that the only reason why you say anything to me is you're experimenting, man. And I said, I really can't do that fake stuff, man. I'm already dealing with that kind of shit in my real life with my closer friends. So he's like, no, I ain't never said that. I showed him the screenshot what the girl said. The girl got mad at me and was like, why you gonna sit back and tell what's it called? I said, why did you try to sit back and tell me like I wasn't gonna screenshot it? Like everybody got screenshot. So I was never a mentor. We was equal. And you even better, but I saw you change back in 2009 making mistakes with women. So yeah, man, I told you back in 2009, that's when he started dating. It took him years. I'm going to tell you this right now. This guy right here. It took us literally almost 8-9 years, or even close to almost 8 or 6 years to get this guy normal. His close person, who I'm not going to name, the one who passed away, who gave him life, that's a hint. She stifled this dude. He had so many mental problems, and that person was getting a SSI check. We convinced him to take his money back from this person. At some point, people started knowing what he was doing because one of our other friends was telling everybody that he was a cash cow. So people from my school, my middle school, was coming, getting money off of him, extra money off of him based off the person who didn't keep their mouth shut, because it was only supposed to be me, my other friend, and this guy. And he would take money out of his SSI because we told him, why is you letting this person take that money and not give you nothing? This person was giving him hand-me-down sneakers, fake sneakers. One time he was wearing, instead of cross trainers, he was wearing cross checkers. And she was pretty much giving him the bare minimum. And she kept the money for herself. And she had so much money because she was doing other things out there, cheating on his dad. And she didn't notice that he was taking shit. So he was, take us to the pizza shop, buy some video games, buy some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some Pokemon cards. And that's when we established a friendship. And we was telling him to stand up for himself. Stand up for himself. Stand up for himself. So it's funny to me when he tried to sit back and play me, when I was the guy with all the confidence, the kid with all the confidence, with my other friend, and I didn't have no problems with women. So it was funny to me when he forgot all that I was the one who gave him confidence, and I took his personality and I started using it in my school so I could be more low key, and that even made me more popular. And and with him, I had to check him because we was on Facebook. I have the same kind of message we have on here, but I don't have Facebook no more. So I told him off in my Facebook. I said, dude, why would you say all this stuff about me not having no girl? And I said, dude, you remember how many girls came up to me? And he even admitted in the inbox, like, oh yeah, I remember. I'm like, why the fuck would you say this? And I said, you were saying I was embarrassing to be around, but I'm like, dude, you was getting kicked out of gyms. Remember we brought you to the gym and they kicked your ass out of the gym because you was stinking up the whole gym. But I never considered that embarrassing. I said, you was hanging out with Buddy, one of my other ex best friends who hang out with the same dude who robbed me. And I said, you understand this? I'm like, why would you even say something this day? I said, you can't lie because I already had hackers and they was already telling me what you and Andrew and everybody else was saying about me. And he was like, oh, why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, dog, I said, they was helping me. These are my people. I said, and I told everything that he was saying about me behind my back to these girls. I'm like, why you gotta sit here and put me in the ground for these ugly ass chicks? I'm like, I thought you could do better than that. And in this screenshot, I said the same thing. I thought you was gonna do better than that with women, since you was getting women. His first girl that he got back in 2009 was a girl who he was working at Family Dollar at the time. The chick came in and basically took advantage of him to get him to. She basically used him for his Family Dollar benefits, so she could get cheap shit in there. And all she was doing was giving him hand jobs and sucking them off, but she never gave him no ass. So I pretty much told him how it was gonna end. And I said, dog, she probably have a girl. I mean, I said she probably have a boyfriend somewhere, and it's gonna fuck you up. So he didn't listen, and I was right. She told him to his face she didn't like him like that. She thought he was disgusting, and she was only using him for money. Then the dude got out of jail and tried to fight him at his job. The second girl he was with, he smashed her while her baby dad was in the house. So he put himself in a situation where he was with a single mom, and he was smashing her quietly while the boyfriend was in the other room, because he thought that gave him a rush. Then he got with a married woman, a mentally ill married woman who stabbed him. Oh, well, I think she almost stabbed him. Then he got with a woman all the way up there. One day, and I kid you not, one day this dude, he didn't have a car. The girl got out of work in the mall. This dude took the bus and a bus. He took 2 buses and a train just to walk that chick home back to her house. Even though he had to take that while me and him was hanging. So at this point, me and him became strained, because all he was doing was trying to hang out with me, but at the same time get on the phone and text message this girl and text message these girls. So he was having me in the background trying to play both sides, and he was getting kind of arrogant about it because he was talking shit about me. And his sister, who was my ex-girlfriend, for some reason, she didn't move on, or I'm the dude that got away, or I'm the dude she couldn't control, she's constantly talking shit about me. You know how bad this chick didn't forget about me? And me and her never had sex. We was young. We got together when we was like in our teenagers years, right? She let me she let me have one of her video games, right? And it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I had that game for almost 5-6 years. You know what this chick did? She asked for it back when she got mad at me and told me that she gonna get her boyfriend to beat me up if I don't give her stuff back, or I'm going to tell the cops that I stole from her. And I said, what? How did I stole from you when you gave it to me years ago? So I gave it to her. Didn't care. I said, I'm gonna get my own shit. And pretty much I was like, okay, I'm done. I ain't want to be around a lot of people after this kind of shit. Also, she started a lot of shit. She went on Facebook, got mad at me because I took her little brother under my wing while she was bullying him, while the whole family was pretty much bullying him. So I felt bad for him because he was getting bullied by his own family. His middle brother, I took him under my wing because I felt bad for him because his aunt was using him. His aunt took his money from him. And his aunt was giving both him and his little brother psychomanic pills to make the both of them dull, like she was taking care of them. And she needed the money from, what's it called? So let me tell you, the parent figure lost parental rights to him, his sister, and both the brother and all her kids. She lost parental rights. The sister took the kids. She took 2 kids. The sister, I think she got into foster care. And, you know, a lot of things happened, and she got fucked up over that shit. And this guy right here, he went to his dad. They all got dysfunctional stories. The middle brother got used for his money. He wanted to get away from his aunt so bad that he had a bank account that his aunt had of him. And she was saving money until he hit 18. He found out that she was using that money to fund her other kids. So at 18, he ran away and left. She didn't want to give him his money. And he left and came back to Philly. Same thing as his little brother, but his little brother, it took 2-3 years for his little brother to come down in Philly. They was outside of Philly. So I took him under my wing because I seen that his sister was treating him like absolute garbage. He wasn't taking showers. He was depressed. And I think he was close to taking his own life because he was so depressed. He was playing video games all day, every day. And he couldn't find a job in Philly. And I tried to tell this dude that you better off getting under the table jobs than getting an actual official job. You use the under the table job to boost you up to get you a legit job, a tax job. You know, they take your taxes out. And he didn't want to listen. So he wanted to do it the hard way, and he was basically jobless in Philly because he didn't know nobody. Because in Philly, you got to work real hard to get a job. You got to know somebody, or you got to go to the right places in order to get a job in Philly. or you got to kiss a lot of ass to get one. Now, sometimes when you go pure clean, you go to the right place at the right time and you'll get one. But there's the politics in the job market in Philly. But if you know somebody, they'll get you in. That's normal job bullshit, right? So he didn't know nobody in Philly. So basically, he was pretty much stagnant. And he didn't want to listen to me. Just like his brothers didn't listen to me when I decided to take a trade on, which was welding. And I told his little brother, come on, man, let's go to this program. And I said, let's go to programs together while I was looking for a school to go, a trade to take. Yeah, I made a mistake. I fucked up. I went to the wrong school, but at least I tried. So I said, making them same mistakes before you started dating. I told you about them and you end up doing it anyways. That's one thing that disappointed me. I gave you the view on women and you wanted to end up with better looking women, not end up failing so many times with women. So when MOT talks about how a lot of people bring these people in the failing system, he was one of them. I thought he was going to be better than his dad because his dad is like that too. This guy will always get with a girl and next minute you know he end up moving with her. He end up moving too fast. He end up being with a woman with kids and he end up sleeping on the couch, only smashing her a few times. She didn't like him being there, but he kept trying to buy his way into her pants. She gave him sex about at least, they was together for a year. She gave him sex to like 8-9 times out of the times that they were in a relationship. She had him sleeping on the couch. Her kids didn't like him. They only liked him. He didn't even know that the baby mom, he didn't know that the baby dad was still smashing her. He just thought that he had to earn his way in. He was with an overweight chick that he met on Tag. And calling her beautiful, end up smashing her the same night. He thought that would make him get pussy points. He got into a house with her. And Moti talks about people like this. And it hit close to home because I know him. And it ended up failing. And she ended up playing the shit out of him. And he was sleeping on the couch while she was bringing dudes and smashing them in the other room. Then he ended up basically having to move in with another girl. And now he's with a big fat white chick. That I think he's living in the house. I don't have to lie. I can literally show you him and her. He never had that good game with women. Even the girl, the single mom that tried to take me, the single mom who tried to take me on a date looked better than the girls he dated. And that's not saying much because that girl, the single mom who tried to get me on a date, doesn't look that good. The Hawaiian chick that tried to play me looks better than the women, every woman that played him. But let's continue. So I had hackers do a few jobs for me and found out a few people was talking shit about me over the years. Andrew is hanging out with the same dude who robbed me, and back in and Danny was talking shit, right? So it was a guy in my neighborhood who was playing both sides. And he used to hang out with the street dudes and he used to hang out with the nerds. This dude had Yu-Gi-Oh pocket. He used to have, I kid you not, he had pills in his other pocket and he had Yu-Gi-Oh cards in his back pocket. So he was playing both sides. He used to play Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon, but he used to hang out with certain dudes. Now, I showed y'all that screenshot for my old viewers that knew that this guy was talking about me behind my back to some dude, and he ended up trying to blast me on social media saying all this absolute bullshit. But I found out a lot when I had hackers that a lot of niggas was talking about me behind my back. And I actually learned how to make the women. I learned how to get the women who mess with these dudes to expose these dudes who are around me. Because 9 times out of 10, the girls would talk shit. And that shows you how much respect they got for you. Because if I have a girl, I'm going to make her known the fact that you respect me like you respect my friends like you respect me. You don't talk about them. Just like I ain't going to talk about your friends. Yeah, that's life. You live and learn from your mistakes. They're not your friends. And I still had your back, though. So, mind you, me and him wasn't friends for ever since 2011. So, ever since 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's been 10 years me and this dude wasn't friends. How the fuck did you have my back when we wasn't even friends? Had my back to who? To who? But he forget that I had the hackers. Women was talking shit about me in groups. He didn't say nothing about it. And a girl that he tried to talk to, a girl that I was talking to, that he talked to, was trying to get more information on me. And he said a couple shit, but he didn't say anything bad. But he tried to slide diss me to try to get her to like him more than me. This dude was behind me all the time. Every chick that I friend on Facebook end up in his friend list. And that's real shit. And like I said before, I can back it up with Facebook, but I don't have my Facebook. So, but pretty much this shows you that it's important to have longevity and strong reigns in your life, right? You can't talk shit to people and then your whole run, your best years is 2 years. If you won't, you gotta hold people to a certain standard. If people gonna talk shit, they better be doing good all the time. They better not fall on hard times. Nothing bad better not happen. They better have perfect lives. This is why I said longevity is important, because time exposes every single thing people are saying. Every single movement that a person picks up, you have to let it play out to see if that person is still on that time. And if that person ain't on that same time, then you know what type of person they really are. This is like this with friendships. Longevity and a long reign is important because it exposes who's really good at what they say they're good at, and it showed them how good they are at what they say they are. Like, there's plenty of people right now in the black manosphere, content creators who ain't hot no more. Longevity matters. They need an O'Shea Do Jackson viewer base in order to get big numbers. Taz Exclusive and Nyler Says and you know, Gab Talk TV and what was it? What's his name? George Makem and all these other people. All these people that came off of fucking what's that dude's name? What the fuck is that dude's name? Everybody who came off of fucking O'Shea Do Jackson channel, a lot of them ain't doing that good no more. They views are in the can because they needed the viewership. They needed the viewership of a bigger YouTube channel. And when they don't have that, they don't have the views like they used to. So now they're not in that same standard no more. That's why it's important you have to see how a person act when they're on top. How they act, what they do, what they say. And you got to hold them to that standard when they're on the bottom. That means you don't forgive them. If they were this arrogant motherfucking person when they was getting bitches and they homeless, you don't give them a goddamn dime. You look at them smirk and you move on. Just like the bitches who are on OnlyFans and then they homeless. All of the, what you call it? All of the GoFundMes that I see, all these porn stars who bragged about them being millionaires, and it turned out they went through that money, and I laugh. Longevity and reigns is important, that you can see who somebody is. Because once they get what they want at a certain point, they'll show you a different side. And then you'll see another side of them later on. The red pill fake chicks, they're fake as shit. The so-called red pill, not so-called MGTOW guys, racist ass MGTOW guys, they full of shit. There's a tons of people that full of shit. I said a couple things that made me in my older videos, and people called me out on it, and I said, finally, you got it. You got what I was trying to do, and see if you was calling me out on it. I would do shit on purpose. The funny thing about this, me and him, I knew our friendship was over when I tested him out on tests that he seen me do to other people to test them out. And he failed for the test that I always test other people and use the test I use on other people. And he knew what type of test that I was pulling on him. And he still fell for it because he was so arrogant and mentally fucked up. He was so arrogant and think he was better than me. So I did my little test and found out he was not worth hanging out with. That's why we haven't been friends and talking for 10 years. This just popped up by a fucking mistake when he said something. And I know I have more inbox messages, but the fact is, Instagram got vanishing mode. And half of the fucking stuff that I used to have, they vanish over time. I had people that talk shit in my inbox. On my, what's it called? But that was my first Instagram. So I think it was on my first Instagram, not this Instagram. And my first Instagram is when I called them out on some shit. And I had my Instagram ever since I had my Facebook. So I had my Instagram for a long time too. My second Instagram, this is my second Instagram. And I really don't even be on there because, they like to block people and, time people out and shit like that. I don't really fuck with it like that. I don't like that censorship shit. This is important right here, man. You got to understand longevity. Talking about longevity, your boy ARC, even in the grave. And I don't really mean to stomp on this dude's grave, man, but where all the people at? Where DJ Kuda at? Where all the game dudes at, man? Why y'all didn't try to help your boy and help his family? Why y'all not helping his family? It's funny that he still didn't get his goal. This GoFundMe is still not being filled. But Xander's Clutch, he made fun of Charles Tyler for dying over in Brazil. But his GoFundMe, the brothers had the back of Charles Tyler, and his stuff filled in like almost a couple of hours. Funny, right? Back then when your boy Xander's Clutch was talking mad shit about traveling bros and taking little shots at guys traveling, because he was still on that, body game bullshit. And then he finally see overseas that they don't give a fuck about that. They care about productivity. And no matter how the fuck you look, they still have to think you're cool. And he had a problem going to Thailand and going to Dominican Republic. He thought, because I got a nice body, the women gonna flock to me. And they didn't flock nothing. He got a sad reality. So, and he tried to blame it on other black men. Oh man, other black men that ruined it for me. No, you ruined it for yourself, man. They can sense arrogance coming from a mile away, thinking that you better because you go to the gym? Yeah, sure. So you had to understand Roger Nella Curry's mental. This guy thought he was living in 1965, where he was getting women all the time. Where he was getting women all the time. And Roger Nella Curry, when he was alive, he was shitting on everybody. He shitted on a lot of men. One of the reasons why I didn't like Buddy, because he was trying to shit on men and using incels as a come up, or he was trying to use incels as a way of talking about, oh yeah man, you don't want to be Elliot Rodgers and blah 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 blah. Yeah man, I know about books. Read my books. And then, MOT told the story about him and how he met him offline. And basically this shit was all an act. And it would expose that it was all an act. And he was just doing this to keep his keeping the cash cow shit running. Because he was keeping his cash cow shit running because he needed the money. He wasn't doing so good financially, but he had all these stories about his heyday. But then I had to call him out a couple times because I had my back and forth with this dude, and I said, dude, if you that guy, then why you not making waves like Kevin Samuels? Why you not getting Kevin Samuels numbers? Kevin Samuels numbers. I said, if you that good with your books, then you should be on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, killing it with the numbers. Then he tried to come up with some bullshit excuse there. They don't want to hear the proof. No, you're not. You shitting on men. I said, you shit on men all the time. You talk shit about men all the time. So why it didn't work? Just like Sean James, it didn't work when he was trying to shit on Traveling Brothers. And look, he's still in a holding position. Like I said, longevity matters. See what time will tell all. We found out this dude had health problems. His body wasn't holding up. And he was acting like he was somebody he wasn't, sharing the shit on people. Instead of taking care of his health and doing what he needed to do, he was trying to give out books and stuff that he wasn't even doing himself. He was getting people in there she was trying to get people to do things that he wasn't trying to do, trying to get men to go back to bullshit and do dumb shit. Right? But hey. You have to look at people in their long behind reigns. So there's so many kings and queens, and you have to see what their reigns are, what they do when they're on top and when they have power. Right now, you seeing what a lot of men and women do and say when they have more power than other men and other people. This is why you don't feel sorry for them when they fall. Just like the Instagram models when they take their lives, or the women who talk about mental health advocates and shit like that, or what you call it? You have to pay attention to people when they at their highest power, and when they have power for a long period of time. Because a lot of them show their real true personality when they're on top. All that humbleness, it only shows when they're basically down on their luck. The only people that you can respect is people who actually on top and they are still humble about it. So man, that was my background story about my history of dealing with the longevity and everything else. I talk how I have the experience that I know what I'm talking about. So longevity is important to expose people's true self, how they act when they have power, and how they're going to be later on. That's why I don't really believe people at all when when they're down on their luck or they get humbled by life, because they're that way because they've been hit too many times. So yeah, man.